Talk about how the lighting control system works in the motion capture studio here. There are a series of plug boxes up on the ceiling, there's plugs on the walls, there's power, there's data, there's light fixtures, and there's control. By the time we're all done, you'll know everything that you want to know about all of them. So the plug boxes up on the ceiling, there's one right above you here.
The black one.
The black box that says R1 on it. That is the lighting system power for your light fixtures, and it's also a data connection for the light fixtures. The R1 on there signifies that particular box is wired back to relay number 1 in the demo panel. So we'll go back and look at that after we do our overview here. There is a XLR connector in that same panel, but this one says X20 on it. What that is that is a DMX output, and the number corresponds to an output on a gateway, and the gateway output is what provides the DMX. Everything is currently set as a single DMX universe, but the system is programmable. Each output can be programmed as a universe output. So you have lots of expansion room if you need it. Down on the walls, there are data receptacles as well for connection to fixtures down low. Then these brown receptacle plates are also connected to the relays. The gray receptacle plates are not. The brown ones are. We'll get the labels on these before the end of the day. The light fixtures up in the ceiling, all of the light fixtures are LED light fixtures, and in order for those fixtures to operate, they need both power and data. So each fixture has a power connection, a power cord, that's what the blue cord is on there, the blue connector is, and then the XLR connector is the data. So in order to actually make a light work, there's a few processes that have to be done. The power has to be connected and turned on. The data has to be connected. Then you have to tell the light what address it's going to be. The DMX line is an addressable line of 512 addresses. So you have to tell the light what its address range is, and the light can use anywhere from 3 to 14 addresses, depending on how the light is set. Now, Jim has gone ahead and set these fixtures up with a personality or an address profile that we think will work well for the room. But everything is variable. If someone goes up and touches the fixture, they can change the profile or the address, and if that happens, it may not behave the way that you are expecting it to behave.
Does the specific location, like where it's plugged in, is that a specific address, or does the light itself have an address? So if you moved that light over here, that light would have that address?
The address is held in the light.
In the light,
So
okay.
regardless of where you plug it in to any of the data receptacles, they're all
Okay.
pushing out the same group of 512 addresses right now.
Okay,
So you can move it to anywhere you need it to be, and it will behave the same,
okay,
unless someone
Would
changes
later
it.
on change the.
okay.
Because
And-
it is possible to have the receptacles sending out different sets of data, but as
Okay.
currently set up and for the number of fixtures you have here, there isn't a strong argument for splitting it up, even though it's possible to do so.
Right.
Okay.
So I think we'll come over and plug in one of these fixtures, and I'll show you a little bit about the personality settings. So these are the same basically as the ACN gateways that we have over in NTAC.
On the other end of one of those
They're exactly the same. So these fixtures, you see I'm plugging into a gray receptacle, which is not part of the lighting system. The fixtures don't care. They just want 120 volts. The reason that these were, the relays were put in is that so when the studio is not in use, the fixtures will be shut off and there won't be the ghost load from the power supply. You see that fixture is strobing. That's telling us that its personality is not set correctly and its address may not be set correctly either. Now, the strobing doesn't necessarily mean that, but we did an experimental setup yesterday that we found didn't stick so well, so we're back to the tried and true hand setup. But we happen to know that that's probably set at address 1 and it's probably set in the general personality, but we really want it set at a different address, which is written on the side of the yoke.
57.
We really want to set at 57 and we want it set as a studio personality. So, when you plug these in, and actually, you always want to plug in the blue connector first, because you're not supposed to disconnect it under load. So when you plug this in, the display on the back of the fixture will light up.
Are there directions somewhere on them that are associated with them that people will know not to unplug them longer?
If someone were to read the instructions that come with the fixture, I don't know if it says that in the instruction book.
It's in the PowerCon.
You'd have to go to the Nitric PowerCon website and read up on that connector style, I guess. That's one of those small details that,
Yeah, so that
Or we
since
can
it's a
make one.
community space, I would make a poster for that.
Great.
yeah, that's one of those small details that isn't widely known about this connector. So, and I don't think it's in the fixture manual.
I make a mean poster about it. I already sent
There you
it.
go.
Running the community.
Okay, so right now,
Just
this
going
is,
really close in for a second, so it's those numbers, okay.
excellent. So right now, the 371, that is the address of this fixture. And it's telling us that it's got a 10-channel personality. And it's telling us what each of those 10 different addresses do in here. If we press the enter button, it takes us into the two menus that we really need to change things. One is the address menu, and so if we were to press enter, then it moves the cursor over here. We can use the up and down arrows to change that address. When we press enter, it takes it back. The other one is the quick setup menu. We press enter, and there is a star by this that is telling us that this one is in the general setting, which is where we want this one to be.
It also said it at the top of the main screen, general.
It's in general. If you decided you wanted to change that to a different personality, you just scroll down to the personality that you'd like it to be, and then you press enter.
Is there a psychotic personality? I'm sorry.
Most of them are psychotic.
Schizophrenic mostly, but
A
they can
little
think that they're right
depressed
on the-
today, but.
They can
not-
act psychotic like that one is. So it's a combination of factors that all have to be set correctly in order for them
Yes.
to work right. So everything has a setting. The fixture has a setting, the data network has a setting, the light board has a setting, and the power panel has a setting. And they all have to be in perfect alignment for this to work right.
You will find that there's been a label applied to each of the yoke arms indicating the start address that there should be currently set to. Maybe it certainly could change over the years.
Yeah.
The reason why there are different personalities for different fixtures is that these fixtures have a couple of different ways of being controlled. You can think about either controlling the amount of red, green, or blue that's going out of the fixture, or with these studio fixtures in the studio mode, you can control intensity, white balance, and tint directly. Instead of having to control just red, green, and blue, you can have a little bit more camera style control over your lighting as opposed to sort of the more theatrical style control. And the personality switches the fixture's way of thinking about the input from being red, green, blue, or red, green, blue, amber, or something like that, to intensity, white point, tint.
Yes.
So after you do those settings, they're set, they're saved in the fixture, and it'll keep that until you change them, despite being powered on or off or anything else. There are three different sorts of styles of fixtures in the air, but they all have the same menu structure and the same back end. The one style, the first one is this ellipsoidal style that's you can see out there. That's sort of like a theatrical style profile fixture. It's got a hard edge, but with a diffusion, you could have a diffusion added to it. Those also have 70-degree lens tubes by and large. So it's
This one's a 50.
Oh, sorry.
They're
Some are 50 and some are
550s
70.
and 570s.
Sure. Okay. 550, 570s. The other type, type number 2 is right over us here. This is more like a par style fixture with a wide
Should I turn those on as we go? So we can see the difference?
Yeah, you'll have to do it from the board. Yeah. Stand up.
What are those used for now?
Those are normally used for top lighting, back lighting, and fill lighting.
And what are they called again?
Pars. P-A-R, par.
Like the parliament?
Yep.
So he's written that one on.
This is a white light fixture. For controls on this one, we do have color temperature. We can bring it up to a very blue. We can bring it down to a very yellow. And it also has a tint adjustment to it. That's the most tint, and that's the least tint.
So you can color match the fluorescent sources and other things as well.
Right, it's just like if you were gonna color balance something in Photoshop or something, you have
Right.
the yellow, the blue, the green, and the
Right.
tinted white balance.
Exactly. So this is, white balance and tint. Yeah, exactly. All right, let's move on to channels 21 through 30.
Either one of them. Oh, yeah, one is.
Same one.
Same one.
The one closest to the control room is.
Maybe we don't have that one powered at the moment.
What is that, Max?
There you
Oh, nice.
So
That's my favorite one.
these fixtures have a fairly narrow native beam spread. Jim's got in his hand a diffuser that can draw in to give us a much broader, less defined, so this is what's called medium round, it's about 40-degree spread. The clip just pushes to the side and then up. It's got a little safety on it. This is sort of an odd color right now, but it can mix to just about anything. That's Dave.
Oh, he's doing that from the control.
Correct.
Okay. Could you just remind us the name of each of these types of lights one more time?
So the first one I looked at was an ellipsoidal.
That's a Studio HD.
Studio HD ellipsoidal. So what it is a hard edge spotlight.